Hello, welcome. This is Ruth Essex reporting for 40 Plus Style, and today I'm going to talk to you about the hourglass body shape. So how do you know if you're an hourglass? What you need to do is check the width of your hips, the width of your shoulders against the width of your hips. Are they aligned? They don't have to be exactly, and you don't have to measure them. Just look at yourself in a mirror. Is the width of your shoulders roughly aligned with the width of your hips? The next step is to check, does your waist go in? Because if your hips and shoulders are aligned but your waist does not go in, then you've got a rectangle or possibly an apple body shape. But to get an hourglass body shape, you need your hips and your shoulders to be aligned and to go in at your waist. So if you've established this is for you, here's a few quick tips that will help you dress your body. The first one is a top. Now you are all about the curves and you tend to be quite busty on the whole, and so this is a neckline shape that is flattering for you. It's a scoop neck, and no matter how big or small you are, how many pounds you are carrying, I have never met anybody that carries weight here on the collarbone area, so it's always a very flattering area to have open. And this scoop neckline is curved, and so it works with the curves that you have in an hourglass body shape. The other thing you'll find helpful for you is look at the shape of the sleeve. It's cut on a slant. Now if you are big busted, you might also get with that quite heavy upper arms. From your elbow to your wrist you could be beautifully slim, but from the elbow to the top you could carry more weight here. So this is a sleeve shape that's going to flatter that because it cuts it at a diagonal. The square boxy shapes that you get on t-shirts quite often, not going to do much for you because they kind of cut a line right across the upper arm, probably drawing a line and the eye to where you've got your widest part. So go for this slant shape, it is particularly flattering. Another shape neckline that's really good on hourglasses is this one. This is a V-neck shaped neckline, and this one is V at the front and V at the back. So what this does is if you've got breadth across here because you've got a bigger bust line, the V, particularly a deep V, helps to cut that visually in half. And what you're doing is drawing the eye down here instead of across here where you've got a broad bust line. So the V neckline is also quite flattering, and look for that on jackets, things that go down, as well as on tops. Now the one thing that does look great on an hourglass is a fitted jacket. Now this is a really good example. It's a good one because, let's look at this. Look at the neckline. It's V-shaped here, but you'll notice it's also a shawl colour. It's soft. The lines work with the soft lines of the body. But it's got 3 buttons, so it pulls it in under the bust. And let me show you the back. It's got a seam in the middle, a seam here and a seam here, and it's got a peplum. So what this does is on the hourglass body shape, you will notice, let me turn to the side, hopefully you can see it from me. I'll put this down slightly. Okay. What you'll see on an hourglass body shape is they go in at the base of their spine and out again for their bottom. So their backs aren't straight, they've got their shoulder blades here, in at the waistline and out again at the bottom. And this is why the peplum jacket looks brilliant on that shape. And even with no one in this jacket, you can see it goes in here, the bottom of the waist, and out again at the peplum. And again, look at this, in underneath the bust and out for the peplum. So nobody would know if you're carrying a few extra pounds around your tummy, if you've got generous curves or not. All they're going to notice is that you go in here and you go in here, a bit like a skittle. It pulls you into the centre and enhances all the lovely curves that you've got. I'll give you another quick hint as well. If you look here at the base of the jacket and you look here at the sleeve, I buy a lot of things online, and I'm certainly known to pick up the odd jacket or 2 on eBay. So look at that. If I'm doing a quick scan of jackets, I like my jackets to sit at hip length. I've got an hourglass figure shape. The reason being is I have a long rise, and that is the depth between the bottom of my bottom, where it curves, and my waistline. So although my waist is short, my rise, the length of my bottom, is quite long. So if you choose a hip length jacket, it visually cuts your rise in half and it makes it look smaller. So I'm looking for hip length jackets. And again, if you're not sure where your hip is, put your leg out to the side and you'll feel your hip bone. That's where it is. Look at that. The base of the jacket and the sleeves, there's about 2-3 inches of difference between the two of them. And that tells me that this jacket is going to finish on my hip line and that the sleeves fall at the upper end of my thighs where my hands dip. I put them by my side. So even on a quick glance, I can see that this is the right length of jacket. Specifically on eBay, because I'm busty and most hourglasses tend to be quite busty, I would suggest that you always check the measurements. Whether you're buying new or second hand, it doesn't matter. And whether you're buying from a catalogue, Amazon or wherever, do check the measurements. Learn what your measurements are across the bust and learn what measurements you like in the length of your jacket. It saves you quite a lot of expensive alterations and you know you're going to get a good fit. So worth checking. If you like a hip length jacket, look at the picture, quick scan. Is the arm longer than the base of that? The only other thing to watch out for there is 3/4 sleeve, so do read the detailed description. Onto a skirt. Now this is a pencil skirt. This one happens to be midi length, so it comes underneath the knee, or it could be knee length, it doesn't matter. But the pencil skirt is a really good shape on the hourglass because you've got lovely hips. You've got that, you go in at the knee. You are all about the curves, and your skirts will not only, they won't fall straight at the back, they will go round your bottom, in around the back of your knee, and then out again. So even with a pencil skirt, you're going to get some sort of curve with it. If you're going to wear midi length, because you're curvy legged, your curvy body, you're also curvy legged, you're going to look slightly dumpy if you wear a midi length skirt with a flat shoe or boot. You're going to be much better off wearing a heel with it. Whether it's heel boot or heel shoe, it doesn't really matter because it will elongate your body. And as a general rule, hourglasses tend to be slightly short in the leg. So anything that will lengthen your leg is going to be quite flattering for you. But the pencil skirt shape looks fantastic. A dress that will always flatter you, and it doesn't matter whether you're a size 6 or whether you're a size 16 or size 26, the wrap dress. Diane von Furstenberg, and again forgive me if I've pronounced that wrong, has made her career out of pretty much one dress, and this is it. It is the wrap dress. If you gain weight, you can let it out, and if you lose weight, you can pull it in. But the one thing this dress does is it pulls you in at your waist. It has a crossover. Now sometimes you're going to need a pin if you're quite busty, or even a tiny camisole, but it has a V-shaped neckline which breaks up a broader bust line. It pulls you in at the waist. Now this one happens to be one that you tie yourself. Some of them have got faux ties, they're already done for you, so they're not going to come apart, which is a joy. You just don't have that flexibility if you lose or gain weight. But it gently flares from the waistline as well. One of the other things that is particularly good about this dress, it's a giraffe pattern, but you will also notice that it's an irregular pattern. So there's no particular bit that draws your eye. Now, if you have some bits about your body that are less than perfect, like the rest of us, you might have a bit of tummy fat that you're not so keen of, you might have a bit of back fat you're not so keen on, you might have a few rolly bits you're not so happy with, doesn't matter. If you pick a pattern that is irregular, it stops the eye being drawn to one particular place. The eye can't rest on it. So what it does is it skims over those bits that you're less than happy with. So something to look out for, a wrap dress, good for the boob area because it's got this wrap over, good for the waist area, drapes beautifully over the hips, and look for a pattern that's irregular. What you should invest in is belts. Now these are your friend because you have an enviable figure where a lot of the other body shapes are concerned, because waists have been a desirable feature of a woman's body for 3,000 years potentially. So draw the eye to it, and the easiest way to do that is to use a belt. Now It can be something simple, like a self-pattern belt that you might get with your dress. There'll be a dress that goes with that. Or it could be one that's got a slight reflection to it. You see that one? It's got a little bit of metallic on it. There we go. So even if your dress was this sort of gold colour, it will draw your eye because it's got some reflection in it. The stretchy belt is a good choice for you. Now let me show you these two buckles. Look. One is an oversized buckle, one is more of a normal size buckle. Now if you are an hourglass, you'll tend to be short-waisted, so there's not a big gap between the bottom of your bust line and your hips. So if you had a really wide belt, it can make you look quite barrelly in the middle, and it's going to be really uncomfortable, specifically when you sit down, because it's going to dig at the top and dig at the bottom. Forget that. So don't go for a belt that's too big. Now this one, even though it's got a supersized buckle, especially compared to that one, when you compare the bodies of the belts, you'll notice that they're about the same. I know on my figure that a belt that's roughly 2 inches wide sits very comfortably on my waist. And because this is stretchy, I can wear it over a coat, over a jacket, or around a dress, and it's still going to fit because it will pull itself in. So even if I go for a bigger buckle, I wouldn't want a belt as wide as that because it'd be too wide for me. I'm looking for a stretchy part of the belt that is roughly 2 inches. Yours could be bigger, it could be smaller. Try a few on, find out. But that is a pretty good tip to finding the best sort of belt for you. And one last tip for you. I mean, there's loads of tips I can give you on hourglasses, and I've got a whole rail of clothes here, and I've got a whole bed full of accessories and items that are all designed to fit and flatter the hourglass figure. But you're going to need to go over to the Style Club to learn more about those. But just before I go, let me show you a handbag style that is good for the hourglass. You don't want to expand your bust line. You are busty enough as a general rule as an hourglass. So if you were to choose a baguette style bag that's short strapped and sits here, it's going to widen you on your bust line, and it's just going to make you look even more booby across here. Equally, if you have a handbag that has got a shoulder strap that finishes on your hips, that is also going to add width to your hips. What you want to do is ideally choose a handbag that flatters your waistline. So this sort of bag, a tote bag, if you wear it in the crook of your arm, it will draw attention here to your waist. If you wear it down, you will find that your fingertips are roughly mid-thigh, and the bag will actually fit around your knee area. So a tote bag is a particularly good shape if you want to draw attention to your waist or avoid drawing attention to your boobs or to your hip line. So if you are an hourglass shape and you want to learn more about it, click on the link below. There's a link to Sylvia's article on how to dress to flatter an hourglass shape. And do let me know if you like it, if you've got any comments to make, and share it with people if you think they might be interested. Okay, this is Ruth Essex reporting for 40 Plus Style on the hourglass body shape.